Well, hello everyone. Talk about right here for Grammarly, and I'm sure most of us have heard of the program Grammarly on the computer. That it's basically if you want to call it like a program, an online program, to where you can actually install it, download it, install it, and it's like a proofreader source of a system to where that it's like a program that you call a Millwell program that proofreads your papers and documents or anything that you're trying to type in, and it tells you that if there's going to be any spelling errors or if it any sorts of errors like that. But I have right here is that this right here will be example right here of me, and I talk about for full time, and talk about between a pass and a fail right here between A and F, and like I know that a lot of people would usually say that as to where that F, I'm like, whenever you look at your report card, then you would see something like an F on your report card, and 1 and O, I'm like, there's a lot of people probably think as to where that, oh, okay, that you got an F in that course, or, maybe that you got an F in on your math test or something, and, so sometimes that, whenever people say that, that the F that don't stand for friend, it's like you don't mean friend or friendly. I'm like, friend, or fragile. I'm like, fragile. Maybe people say F may mean fragile or something, but it say F for fail, and so basically say like, you're fired. It seems like sometimes people are kind of saying it like that way also, is to where you're fired. But talk about any source of mistakes, and as well as the mobile app for the Amazon.com right there. But still though, that it seems like correcting your spelling and grammar seems to be a big job, because it's like you might begin a sentence something like such as to where the I work, today I work, or something like that, or if you begin a sentence such as working today or something. So it seems like that just 3 words that can maybe lead to some mix-ups, and then if it goes to punctuations and or anything like that. But talk about for Grammarly though, I'm gonna go ahead and show everybody right here is this paintbrush right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of paint right there, to that picture right there. That be me right there using some Photoshop work. And I know if anybody warns us to where that they have not seen very many of the paintings here lately, so I'll go ahead and paint. Like I was mainly using this right here just to go ahead and paint in a little bit of the look of the Grammarly. I'm like, that you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Grammarly program. I'm like, that proofreading software program that you can download to a PC. But let's just say, how many of us going to maybe say that, do you have sweet cheeks whenever you get to the final results to where how something turns out? Sweet cheeks, yeah, sweet cheeks. The type of sweet cheeks I'm talking about is to where that the look that you have on your face whenever you get that, the final score, and then maybe if that final score is going to maybe be a 0 or maybe a 36% or something like that on your grade report, so far as your progress goes. And I can tell anybody here that, free is not going to get me to sign up for it. Free is not going to get me to use it. Like, I say that as long as it works. And I'm sure anybody who's a beginning or an experienced learner would say is to where that they like to see this person, him or her, would like to see results. And despite about what the paper says, that I really think so too, is to where that you ask to see results, show the results about that it works, and it would be perfect for anybody who's just learning to write in a particular way. That please show the results, not just say to where it's free, but exactly that. And I know, like the mobile apps nowadays, that you can go ahead and write in your comments about what you think about it. But I also keep thinking too that on average, if we calculate it to where that you have right here is put my paintbrush down, but you have right here is this calculator. We know that not all calculators are free, but still that for as little as maybe less than $8 a month or something like that that you're paying just for a certain plan to where that you if you were to download Grammarly, you install it to your own computer, and basically that they have a little proofreading program. So basically that most of us have had our experiences to where that you didn't do very well on the English test, or maybe it could be a math test, and I do one or two that why is it, I'm like, and I know that there might be other websites you can go to, but I do one or two that why is it that there are not very many programs available for for the math courses, such as if it's a geometry or calculus or any programs like that. I'm like, I hear quite a bit about Zapper, or if it's other programs like Word document. So so it seems like to where that whenever you're going to be learning something new, it's like the first thing that you're going to hear is to where it's free. Well, here's the thing. What's going to keep me going is to where if I see progress in the hard work, and I know I put in a lot of hard work into what I do based on what I do on my computer, and I'm not just what you call just messing around. I'm working. And I'm sure any students could maybe say is to where that, whenever, if you're going to be a student trying to write a paper and trying to review that paper, that, you're not messing up. But still, I guess there is a difference between who is trying to read and understand the document, the paper, and for who wrote it. So it's like you might have that detail in your mind to where that, okay, yeah, this is exactly, so yeah, I guess those readers really don't have all that information about what you're talking about. Okay, you want to write a paper about Earth and about satellites, but not very many people are really going to understand exactly about what your point is and what you're what your phrase is, and what the topic is in the subject matter, and then so far as independent clause and then an independent clause, and so source of English like that. So whenever we're going to be using a program like Grammarly, and I had this, it looks like a G in a cloud or something, but still, like, for Grammarly though, that I know if most of us have downloaded that on our computers or maybe on our mobile phones, that they're likely thinking is to where that's the first thing that they're going to hear is to where it's free. You got nothing to lose, but still that. I could probably say too is that you see results, like you hear about a lot of good things about something, but I also keep thinking too is that I've tried a lot of writing programs, and just like Microsoft, just like Word though, that whenever you use it, it seems like that from what I've seen from Grammarly though, I need something, I need something that's going to stand. I guess if you would call it, like stand by my paper. I'm like, yeah, something to proofread my paper before I turn it in. So let's just say if I'm getting ready to turn in a paper to one of my teachers or somebody that's going to read it, that I need something to proofread it, and that's maybe one of the reasons why I got Grammarly, is because I need to have a program that's going to proofread my paper before I save the so I can save the corrections, and before I post it, before I turn it in, that there's a way to proofread it. So you got some of these other programs, some of these other sites that sometimes it takes a couple of hours or maybe up to 2 or 3 hours to get a response. But still, though, that I'm talking about, something like Grammarly, to where that while you're writing, that you got a professional reader that's looking at what you're typing. And that's really what I need. So the way I think about it too is that whenever I use it, I might say is to where that even if it does cost money just to download Grammarly, that don't mean but still that I guess at later on in time, if it's going to help fix the problem to where about if you want to call it based on your IEP, based on your GPA scores and all that, that you're basically paying pennies on top of a dollar. But let's just say if you could get reimbursed, though, it's like a deposit. Yeah, look at it like a deposit, everyone. Look at Grammarly like a deposit. If Grammarly is going to help you succeed and you're a source of education, look at it as a deposit. Don't really look at it as free. I'm not going to look at it as free, as a free tool. I'm going to look at it as a deposit. Look at it more as like a deposit. Whenever you make a deposit, you are basically, you're paying money, but then also that whenever you do make a deposit, that you're putting in you're putting in the amount just to be able to use it. And if anybody were to say that look at it like a deposit, look at Grammarly like a deposit. If you're getting ready to if you are if I can explain it correctly, like a deposit, though, to where that's your source. If you're able to, and I'm sure most of us have betted before on something, but not really look at it as a bet, but like a guarantee, to where that you promise that you'll get up to an 83% after maybe the 3 weeks period or something like that, maybe after the free trial period. That this is what you plan on doing, is to where that this is your goal. This is your goal for what you want to do. From that goal, that you're also thinking, I can tell anybody here that from that goal, I say is to where that this is the amount of work in progress that I have accomplished. And after I downloaded Grammarly, that this is what I'm using it for. For my text messages and telling everybody, hey, how's it going, everybody? Using Grammarly just to be able to, correct, use that to spell, check your documents and, other things too. So, look at it like a tool, like a deposit. I'm not going to look at it as a free, tool, option. You say you have different options, but I'm mainly going to look at it more as like if it is a deposit. So the way I think about it too is that whenever I see those commercials about downloading Grammarly, I'm like, it's pretty simple to do. But what I'm going to say is that I'm going to look at it like a deposit. If it's going to show great success and my goals and my achievements, then I'm going to go ahead and download it. But let's just say, though, I'm going to go ahead and get it. But still, that if I hear free, though, but I can tell anybody here, everybody may have their own opinion. Yeah. Everybody may have their own opinion about what they think about Grammarly, but the way I think about it too is that you can't expect everything to be free either, and we know that F does not can also mean the opposite of fail, but still for free though. But let's just say that in about maybe in about maybe 3 or 4 letters, how come that we cannot say deposit? But these commercials, I don't know why they don't say deposit guaranteed. Deposit guaranteed. Why is it that they don't say deposit guaranteed? Instead, they're going to say free. You got nothing to lose. Just pick up the phone and do it. But still. But I could say too is that I mainly want to go ahead and do this activity right here, basically talking about fail. That I'm sure most students here, if you're students or maybe if you are just still learning the basics about working with computers or whichever it is, that you're saying is to where that if you didn't do so well on something, and that kind of looks like blood right there, but it's supposed to be brown. But go ahead and add a little bit of blue right there to my hair, but still that I know that with it, like say with Grammarly though, that a word that we can use is to where that look at it like a deposit. But really, that if we don't do very well on a grade though, that you're likely thinking is to where that you did everything that you could. Don't know why you didn't do so well, but still that. How do most of us handle our first fail. I'm like, if it's going to be the first, or maybe about 4 or 5 times, maybe after about maybe 10 times that you're not very satisfied. After you get all upset whenever you wind up failing a test or failing a course, or what. I'm like, yeah. I could say that you worked hard and you don't understand. I'm like, yeah, you worked hard and then you're trying to understand why that you got a fail, and why you failed the course, because you turned everything in like you were supposed to. You showed up for class like you were supposed to. And yeah, that like would anybody say that? Yeah, did you come to class? Yeah, duh, I came to class. But still, that if you came to class, well, you still didn't pass the class. But still, that whenever I think about Grammarly, though, that I also keep thinking too that that's supposed to improve your grade or your work performance, but I'm going to go ahead and just think about it or look at it more as a deposit, because that's basically what it is. It's a deposit. But you have right here is that this right here will be me right here, and I talk about for full-time work. You got here is the results, the benefits, and then the flexibility, 50 hours weekly, and then the progress, and then the gift. So how many of us can maybe think as to where that if you can get like a Grammarly Premium, and if you get like a certain plan of Grammarly, and let's just say it's going to cost about maybe $138 just to have it for 1 year. If you succeed very well, then maybe the gift could maybe be a computer, a free computer, or maybe a smartphone, iPod, or something like that. But that's usually what I look at, is to where you show great progress. You show your hard work, and then you'll get the reward later on. And that's usually how I put it, as to where that you holding me holding the pencil like that, and just thinking as to where you if I'm going to be writing something. And yeah, it's starting to kind of remind me of one of those little writing pads that I had back when I was a kid. That during that time, that did I really know how to say I am doing good today, or doing good, or something like that. How are you today? Whenever you start a conversation and rephrase that maybe into another language, and you're just thinking as to where what's the first thing that you may have wrote back whenever you were young. And before you even knew what Grammarly was. But talking about with Grammarly, though, that I could probably say is that, and sometimes I'm sure most of us have experienced that before, to where that if you only have about maybe one hand, if you're left-handed or right-handed, I'm like, yeah, if you're right-handed on a keyboard, sometimes it's not really like that. Have anybody thought of that, to where whenever you're writing on the keyboard that you're using both hands, right? You're not really using just one hand to write on the keyboard. But let's just say, since I'll be right-handed here, that let's just say that using my right hand, and then you type one letter at a time. With Grammarly, though, that I guess you could probably say is to where that almost anybody who's going to have spelling problems and grammar problems, say is to where have the top of the pencil right there, the writing utensil before you write, that there's going to be like what you call the friendly header, if you want, kind of like a highlighter. How many of us would maybe like to have something like that on a pencil? Have a little highlighter, kind of like on the top of the pencil right there. And anybody say highlighter? Yeah, but if I can kind of draw an example of what I'm talking about here. Have like a little highlighter on the top of the pencil like that, and it's gonna blink, if they see any errors or something like that. So yeah, have like a little highlighter, a highlighter that's going to point out something that's wrong. And then before you turn it in, before you turn it in, there's some, you forgot to add punctuate, and you forgot to add a capital letter, and you need to add parenthesis marks, in between these paragraphs. So yeah, look at it like a pencil, and I don't know how many of us say what's the most expensive price that we have had to pay for a pencil. And I'm not just talking about the kind that you sharpen. I'm talking about the kind that that you basically are like, yeah, it's supposed to be like a special guidance and a writing utensil all in one. So I'm sure that most of us have said that, you see in those stores as to where that you have these pencils, and you can change the colors of the writing lead, and you can also the ink swatch. I'm like, yeah, different ways of how you can use a pencil or a pen, but still have on the top of the pencil. Usually you see an eraser on the top of a pencil, but let's just say on the top of the pencil there is like a little guider. I'm like, yeah, a proofreading guider. To where that, and I guess that nowadays that they're available on a lot of the electronic writing pads. I'm like, on those digital writing, I guess the boogie boards or something like that, on those devices. But before, while you're writing, that there's something that's going to help guide you to where what you gotta do. That there are mistakes and misspells in your paragraph sentences. But still, though, that I know with me, though, downloading Grammarly, that that I can tell anybody here that free is not the reason why I got it, and I look at it more as like a deposit. Something. Even though if it is going to cost money, is it going to show, is it going to give me the results that I need just to be able to succeed, and then the course is required, or if anything, if you're trying to be an author, if you're trying to write a book, if you're trying to be an author of a book, and you might need it just to be able to write, good wordings to other readers would be able to understand what you're saying, to be a good author in the near future, then you might use Grammarly for that, for business reasons. But I tell you one thing, though, that I look at it as more of a deposit. With this deposit, though, that it seems like, though, that with that deposit that you'll guarantee, but still, you got to put in a lot of the hard work just to be able to show the progress. And so that's just a thing of way I think about too. That with Grammarly, though, that with full-time work also, but how many of us can maybe say is that even if you do fail a course, that you get all mad and frustrated about it. I'm sure most of us here probably know that does sound very frustrating, because that whenever you fail a course, and that might be a little bit embarrassing on anybody. Whenever you if you're going to be classmates with somebody and you talk to them, and let's just say that exactly that you didn't do very well, but the other person did very well, and so yeah, I get frustrated. I get really frustrated about that whenever that happens to me. Whenever if I didn't do very well compared to somebody else that very well, and yeah, that there's somebody else that the person, the teacher liked their work better than they liked yours because you're not following directions, or if it's it could also be related to something else too. I'm like, but still, how do you handle it whenever you fail a course? And I guess the best ways of how we can say it is that just keep trying your hardest. And I know that some of those teachers say that if you gotta retake the course, then retake the course. But I know that whenever you're in college, though, that it seems like that you say stuff like you want to aim for the best, and that this is what you want to do, this is your goal right here. But while you're in school, then you may realize that the work is a lot harder than what you thought it was, and maybe the progress didn't turn out very well, and so it seems like it's toward that while you're in school that you're going to experience maybe a fail, or maybe you didn't do so well, but really, though, that I really think this too is to think about the amount of progress for what has been completed. And of course, with my situation, though, that after completing at least 1 year, and you likely think as to where that you might see a fail or two. You might even see 5 times in a row that you failed a course, and each course is that, but still, that I also keep thinking too is to where that you didn't fail with a 0. That just that you earned some points, but just not enough to pass the course. So let's just say if you see progress, but then sometimes it's not enough progress to be able to pass the course. And so that goes by to where to kind of train yourself into knowing about what you got to do better for the next time. It seems like almost all the time it's going to work like that. It's going to work like that almost each and every time, to where you got to train yourself to do better. Keep practicing, but really, it's like the hard work. A lot of the hard work that you got to put into something. Just to move forward. Just to move forward, just to succeed. But I could probably say too is that with Grammarly though, that for anything about what you call, if you want to write a paper about satellites or about planet Earth, about new energy sources, that sometimes though it seems like that if you want to write a paper about something, and why does it seem so confusing to other people? And but the way I think about it too, about with Grammarly though, that with Grammarly that I have it, and it's basically like, a tool that I use on my computer. And I could probably say too is to where that you're going to go ahead and try it out, and even though if certain plans that don't that are not free, you got free trial periods, but I tell you one thing though, that is it really worth a try? I could probably say I'm like, there's other programs out there that you can use that might say that they're free, but I tell you one thing, I guess having more options is better than nothing, it seems like, because whenever you're introduced to something, it seems like that you need to have more detail other than it's free, But I guess if you want to say look at it as a deposit, look at it as to where that your GPA scores were not so great when at the beginning, but then after you basically gotten some more practice with the skills, but I guess if we want to say is to look at it more as like a gift to be paid for later on, a gift for later on, and I know that you might even say too that you've been working on it long enough to where it seems like that you're just you're getting very frustrated with it. But how can we explain to our kids about whenever we whenever you look at the report card that we see an F, and I know that seeing an F, and you might even think too is to where that F is sometimes is highlighted in black or maybe a red, as to where that you failed that course. And but I tell you one thing though, that if anybody were warned to where that exactly that whenever you first start enrolling in any source of a college, or maybe if it's any source of school, that you work hard in one course, but then you didn't do so well in it, and your parents are going to maybe say this to where that you didn't do very well in that course. What's the reason? Why? You came to class like you were supposed to, but one of those coupies to where you ran out of time. You were not able to look at all what was missing, and we say is hard work that does count, but I tell you one thing, that like anybody say to you might get mad about it, but really, you want really to look on the bright side about it, is to where you did the best you could, while you were in that course, and I know that whenever you're working on something, and you spend a lot of time on that something, and sometimes though it seems like to where if you work full hours, if you spend about maybe 5 hours per day, trying to put in the hard work and trying to succeed in what you're working on. But I guess you could say is to where that you may have gotten your first C, or you may have gotten your first B, and then you may have gotten your first D, but still that once or twice that you would get an A on a course, but then once or twice that you would get a fail. And so the way I think about with most of our kids, say that what's the best way of how we can describe to where that whenever you see a fail on your report card, and you might even say too, I failed, don't count on me now, because I failed. I didn't do so well. They didn't like, my work in progress wasn't so great. But I know that, like, if anybody say, your friends and family, anybody that's supportive for you, whereby I could say is to where that, really, that, you know, you may not be very happy to get that fail on a report card. But let's just say if somebody were to say is to where that, you know, that don't mean, you know, they don't make you a bad worker. That just means is to where that, you know, based on what the requirements are and based on for what needs to be improved. But let's just say, though, it seems like that's all about the whole fact of matter about meeting the new skills, meeting the new people. And it seems like a lot of times that's, you know, and I keep thinking too, as to where is that the exact truth about the whole process, about the whole matters, as to where that meeting new people, you know, meeting you know, introducing, you know, getting introduced to the product, and yeah, that you know, you earn so many points and you lose so many points. But I guess the fact of the matter is to where that you learn anything, and you know, you say that is to where you promise to do better next time, and you know, you try to work harder next time. But the way I think about it too is to where that the hard work, you know, the hard work that counts. Even if you do see a fail on that report card or on the job performances, though, or maybe if it's even, you know, on Amazon, that you're also wondering too is to where that how are you handling it whenever you see a fail, and so you're likely think as to where okay, necessarily that what you see on that fail is that. With exactly about what you see on that fail is to where that you're horrible, you know, but still the hard work that counts. With that hard work, that more likely that could automatically pursue to the next step. You know, give it another try. You know, you know, maybe not everybody's going to say is to where give it another try, but let's just say, and somebody says, "Oh, come on, you know, it's a holiday," or "Come on, it's your birthday, give it another try." So yeah. You say, just like a crossword puzzle, huh? But yeah, it's supposed to be your special day. You are very close to passing the course, so keep working on it. The hard work is going to count, okay? But other than that, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.